Welcome to our deep dive. So, I want you to imagine a situation.
Okay.
Have you ever been at a party or maybe a gathering for work?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And you are standing there, you're holding a cup of coffee, and you feel completely relaxed.
Right, just having a good time.
Exactly. Then someone walks up to you and asks a simple question.
Okay.
You hear the question and, you understand it perfectly. In your native language, you know the exact answer.
You could talk about it for hours.
Yes, exactly. But you try to answer in English and you just
Oh,
freeze.
yeah. That happens a lot.
Your throat tightens up, the silence stretches out,
Ugh.
and 1 or 2 seconds pass.
Which feels like a lifetime.
It really does. Everything just comes to a complete stop and you simply cannot speak.
We hear about this experience from so many language learners. It is a very normal physical reaction.
Really? So it's physical?
Yes.
Yes.
When you experience that tight throat and that long silence, your body is actually feeling stress.
Oh, what?
Yeah, your brain enters a mild panic mode. And when that happens, it actually shuts down the part of your mind that remembers vocabulary.
That is so interesting. To me, this freezing feeling is like, it's like playing a video game.
Oh, a video game. How so?
Well, you are running forward in the game, right? Everything is going well, and then suddenly the screen completely freezes.
Ah, right.
The machine is still running. You can hear the computer fan working very hard,
Yes, spinning fast.
but nothing on the screen is moving forward. You push the buttons, but nothing happens.
That is a perfect example because your brain is working incredibly hard in that moment.
But no English words are coming out.
Exactly. The system is overloaded. So today, our mission for this deep dive is to explore a three-step method from our source material.
Right.
And this method teaches you how to break this cycle.
Which is so important.
It is. We want to give listeners the tools to actually think and speak directly in English, without freezing.
I love that. But before we talk about the solution, I feel like we need to understand why this system overload happens.
Yes, that's crucial.
Because I know a lot of learners think, I just do not know enough words.
Right. Or they think their grammar is bad.
Exactly. They believe that if they just read one more grammar book, the freezing will stop.
But our source material makes it very clear. A lack of vocabulary is rarely the real problem.
Wait, really? It's not a vocabulary issue.
Usually, no. If you
What?
can understand the question being asked, you usually have enough English to hold a conversation.
Oh, I see.
The actual problem is a faulty process. Your brain is acting like an exhausted translator.
An exhausted translator. Okay, let's break that down. How does this translator work inside the brain?
Well, imagine a person whose only job is to translate complex legal documents all day long.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Right. They're overworked, and their mental energy is very low.
Okay.
So, when someone asks you a question at a party, your brain attempts a very complicated two-step process.
2 steps.
Yes. First, you build the perfect, most intelligent answer in your native language inside your head.
Right. We do that because our native language is comfortable.
Exactly.
It feels safe to form our thoughts there first.
But then, the heavy lifting begins.
Yeah.
You take that beautiful, complex sentence in your native language and you try to translate it into English,
Word by word.
word by word.
Mm.
You look for the first word and then you search for the second word and so on.
But wait, isn't that just how speaking a second language works? I mean, you learn vocabulary words and then you put them together to make sentences?
That is how we often learn a language in a classroom.
Mm.
But it is not how the brain processes natural speech in real time.
Oh, okay. So how does the brain actually work?
Let's look at something called working memory.
Working memory.
Yes. Think of working memory like a small table.
A table. Okay.
It's a table where your brain puts information it needs to use right now.
Mm-hmm.
But this table is very small. It can only hold a few items at a time.
Okay, so the table is small. I am picturing a tiny little table.
Good.
Mm.
Now, when you build a long sentence in your native language, you fill up that entire table.
Oh, I see.
Then you try to find the English translation for the first word.
Yeah.
You bring it to the table.
Right.
Then you search for the translation of the second word. Very quickly, the table runs out of space. Your working memory is completely full.
And when the table is full, things start falling off.
Exactly.
Doing two big jobs at the same time, holding a native sentence and translating it word by word, it's just too much for the working memory.
It is. Time slips away.
Yeah.
The silence gets longer. Your brain uses all its energy trying to translate.
And the result is that your train of thought is completely derailed.
Yes. You forget what you even wanted to say in the first place.
Wow. So it is the process of translating that causes the freeze, not a lack of English knowledge.
That's right.
That is a huge relief to hear,
It should be.
because reading another grammar book will not stop you from freezing. A grammar book does not change how your brain translates information.
No, it doesn't. So to start freezing, we have to help the exhausted translator. We need to clear off that small table in our working memory.
Let's explore how we do that. Our source material gives us a clear method, and the first step is completely changing the way we learn vocabulary.
Yes,
Huh.
we have to stop memorizing isolated words.
When we say isolated words, we mean learning single, disconnected words.
Right. Yes. For example, learning the word how, and then separately learning the word is, and then learning going.
The three separate words.
Right. When you try to speak, your brain has to find each piece and stick them together.
Oh, I have a good analogy for this. Think of it like going to a restaurant because you want a sandwich.
Okay, a sandwich.
When the waiter comes to your table, you do not ask for one piece of bread.
No, you don't.
And you don't ask for one slice of cheese, a piece of meat, and a little bit of lettuce.
Right.
You do not ask for all the separate ingredients to build the sandwich yourself at the table.
If you did that, it would take a very long time. And it'd be a lot of unnecessary work.
Exactly. Instead, you look at the menu and you just order the turkey sandwich.
Yes.
It comes to you already built and ready to enjoy immediately. So learning chunks of language is like ordering the whole sandwich.
That's exactly right. Natural chunks are groups of words that native speakers use all the time. They always go together.
Okay, so they come as a package.
Yes. When you learn the whole chunk as one piece, your brain does not have to translate each separate word.
But wait, if I am a learner and I sometimes struggle to remember just one single word, isn't it much harder to memorize a whole phrase of 4 or 5 words?
That is a very logical question. But cognitive science shows us something surprising.
Oh,
Your brain actually remembers patterns better than single items.
really?
Yes. Going back to our working memory table, if you learn how, is it, and going as separate words.
They take up 4 spaces on your small table.
Exactly. But if I learn the whole phrase, how is it going?
Oh, I see. My brain treats that entire phrase as just one item.
Yes. It only takes up one space on the table. You treat the phrase like one big word.
That makes so much sense.
So when you want to ask someone how they are doing, you do not build the sentence. You just reach into your memory, grab the chunk, how is it going, and use it.
Your exhausted translator finally gets a break.
A much-needed break.
You are thinking directly in English because you are using English building blocks. You are not building a native sentence and trying to translate it.
Exactly.
Let's give our listeners a few more examples of these natural chunks.
A great example is the phrase, at the end of the day.
Oh, that's a good one.
Many learners might try to build this idea from their native language. They might say something awkward like, when the day is finishing.
Right.
But native speakers use the chunk at the end of the day to mean ultimately or in conclusion.
Another good one is, as far as I know.
Yes.
Instead of trying to construct a complex sentence about the limits of your personal knowledge, you just drop in that ready-made chunk.
Right.
Like, as far as I know, the meeting is at 3 o'clock.
Perfect. So next time you are reading an article or listening to a video in English, do not just write down single words you do not know.
What should they do instead?
Pay attention to how the speaker groups words together. Write down the entire phrase.
Okay, so we're ordering the whole sandwich. We are learning chunks.
Yes.
But let's be realistic about real conversations.
Okay.
Even if I have a good chunk ready, my brain still needs a second or two to find it.
True.
The conversation has empty space. What do I do in that awkward silence while my brain fetches the chunk?
This is a very real challenge. Even native speakers need time to think. This brings us to the second step from our source material. Use conversational bridges.
Conversational bridges. What is the main purpose of a bridge in this context?
A bridge is a simple phrase that helps you smoothly connect your ideas, but its secret job is to buy you time.
Buy you time.
Yes, it buys you precious seconds to think while you are actually speaking.
So imagine you are swimming across a river.
Okay, a river.
You are moving from your native language over to English. If you get tired in the middle of the river, a conversational bridge is like a safe little island.
Oh, I like that.
It is a place where you can stand up, catch your breath, and rest for a second before you finish swimming to the other side.
That is a great visual. Let's look at the two specific examples provided in the source text.
Okay.
The first bridge is the phrase on the surface, and the second is deep down.
Let's explain slowly how to use on the surface. We use this phrase when a situation looks one way from the outside, but the truth might be different.
Exactly. So imagine you are at a work gathering,
Okay.
and your boss asks you, what do you think about the new company's schedule?
Oh, that's a complicated question. You need a few seconds to think of a good answer.
Yes, but if you stay completely silent to think, your throat might tighten up again.
The panic mode starts.
Right. So to prevent that panic, you start talking immediately. You use your bridge.
How does that sound?
You say, well, on the surface, it seems like a good idea.
Oh, I see the mechanism there. By saying, well, on the surface, it seems, you give your mouth something physical and natural to do.
Yes, your vocal cords are moving. The silence is broken.
And that helps the panic.
Yes. By speaking immediately, you send a signal to your brain that everything is fine. You are not in danger. The panic mode turns off.
That makes so much sense. And while your mouth is saying that familiar bridge, your working memory is quietly fetching the next chunk of your answer.
Exactly. You are buying yourself 3 or 4 seconds of thinking time.
Wow.
Because you practice that bridge as a single chunk, it rolls out of your mouth automatically.
And the other person feels like you are answering them quickly and thoughtfully.
Right. Now let's look at the second bridge. Deep down.
We use deep down when we want to express our true, honest feelings about a situation.
Correct. We can connect these two bridges together to make a very natural response.
Oh, let's hear that.
You look at your boss and say, well, on the surface, the new schedule seems like a good idea, but deep down, I am a little worried about it.
Oh, wow. You just bought yourself almost 5 seconds of thinking time.
Yes.
You did not freeze, you kept the machine running, and you sounded incredibly fluent while doing it.
The source material encourages learners to memorize a handful of these bridges.
What are some other ones?
To be honest is another excellent one.
Oh, I use that all the time, to be honest.
And, if you ask me, is another. They're essential tools that give your brain a safe place to rest.
We have a really strong plan now. We have chunks, which act like ready-made sandwiches, so we do not have to translate word by word.
Right.
We have bridges, which act like safe islands to buy us time to think. But, I know people who have lots of vocabulary, and they still stay completely quiet at parties.
It's true.
They have the words, they know the bridges, but they are terrified.
Yes. The fear of making a mistake.
Hmm.
It is the final and often the largest block we need to overcome.
It's a huge block for learners.
Which leads us to the third step of the method, the rule of pushing past mistakes.
Pushing past mistakes. Meaning, when you say the wrong word or use the wrong grammar, you do not stop the conversation. You keep moving forward.
Yes, the source material is very direct about this. You must leave perfectionism behind.
Perfectionism.
Yes, perfectionism is the belief that if your grammar is not flawless, you should not speak at all.
But wait, in school, we are taught that grammar has to be perfect. We get a bad grade if we use the wrong verb tense.
We do.
It is very hard to just drop that habit.
That is the difference between a classroom and the real world.
Mm.
In a classroom, the goal is often accuracy. But in the real world, the goal of language is communication.
It's a big difference.
No one speaks perfectly in everyday conversation. Even native speakers make grammar mistakes when they are talking casually.
That is so true. I like to think of speaking a new language like painting a picture for a friend.
Oh, tell me about that.
Imagine you are painting a picture of a house.
Okay.
Maybe your lines are not completely straight. Maybe the roof is a little bit crooked or the door is slightly the wrong size.
Right.
When you give the painting to your friend, they do not look at it and say, this is terrible, the lines are not perfect.
No, of course not. They look at the painting, they recognize the image, and they appreciate the effort.
Exactly. The painting does not need perfect lines to be beautiful. It just needs to share the picture from your mind to their mind. Communication is exactly the same.
I really love that analogy. The source material uses a powerful phrase to describe this. It says, what truly matters is making a connection.
Making a connection.
Yes. Getting your message across and making a connection with another human being.
When you are at that gathering and someone asks you a question, they are not waiting to give you a grade.
No.
They do not have a red pen in their hand.
Exactly. They ask you a question because they genuinely want to know what you think. They want to hear your perspective.
They want to connect with you.
Yes. Native speakers focus on the meaning of your words, not the structure.
So if you use the past tense instead of the future tense, but the other person understands your story, the communication was 100% successful.
Absolutely. If you make a mistake in a conversation, Do not stop. Do not apologize for your English.
Oh, that's interesting. Why shouldn't they apologize?
When you stop and apologize, you bring attention to the mistake and you break the connection.
Oh, I see.
Just take a breath, smile, and keep your story moving forward.
Taking that pressure off is so important. When we relax and stop trying to be perfect, our exhausted translator can finally take a vacation.
Yes, we stop analyzing every single word.
And that helps our memory too, right?
It does. When your stress levels drop, your working memory actually expands. Your ability to recall English chunks improves simply because you are not afraid.
This has been a very practical deep dive. We have covered a lot of important concepts today.
We really have.
Let's take a moment to review the full cycle, step by step, so our listeners can clearly remember how to apply this.
Good idea. First, we identified the root cause of the freezing effect.
Right.
The problem is not a lack of English knowledge. The problem is the exhausted translator. You are trying to build complex native sentences and translate them word by word, which overloads your working memory.
And to fix that overload, we followed the three-step method.
Right.
Step 1. Break the translation chain by learning natural chunks instead of isolated words. Do not ask for the ingredients. Order the whole sandwich.
Perfect. Step 2. Use conversational bridges like on the surface and deep down.
Because they buy time.
Yes. These phrases keep your vocal cords moving, prevent panic, and buy your brain precious seconds to find the next chunk.
In step 3, let go of the need to be perfect. Push past your mistakes. Remember that your goal is to make a connection with another person, not to have flawless grammar.
It is a clear method, but it requires practice.
It definitely does.
The source text leaves the reader with a final reflection. It reminds us that only the learner can break this cycle. You have to take these tools out into the real world.
That's the hard part, taking it into the real world.
It is. The text asks, what is your biggest challenge when speaking English?
For many people, the biggest challenge is not the vocabulary. The biggest challenge is the fear. So I want to leave you, our listener, with one final thought to explore on your own today.
I think this is a great place to conclude.
The next time you are at a party or a meeting at work, someone asks you a question in English.
Right.
You feel that silence stretching out and you feel your throat starting to tighten. Stop and ask yourself this one question. Are you simply trying to share a message with a friend, or are you secretly trying to pass an invisible grammar test in your head?